For centuries, tales of underground kingdoms, hidden cities, and invisible portals have been told across the world. But are these merely myths or traces of an ancient truth forgotten by humanity? Perhaps the key to some secrets does not lie on the surface, but deep beneath the earth. And maybe only those who are spiritually prepared can reach it. Agartha. To some, it is nothing more than a legend. To others, it is an underground paradise where ancient sages still live, nourished by light itself. Some go even further, claiming that this hidden kingdom is connected to the powers ruling the world from behind the scenes, carrying traces of an unseen civilization that shapes the fate of humanity. Throughout history, discoveries, maps, and notes from travel journals all seem to point in the same direction. There may indeed be a lost world beneath our feet, and perhaps this world is not only physical, but also a symbol of a hidden truth. In today's video, we will explore the legend of Agartha and examine how it echoes across different cultures around the globe. If you're ready, let's open the gates of this mysterious legend together. By the way, if you enjoy this kind of content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like the video. Your support means a lot to me. Welcome to my channel, Discovery of the Mystery, where we will uncover the secrets. Perhaps the traces of ancient civilizations have been wiped from the surface. But who knows? Maybe they still live on in a hidden world beneath our feet. This place could be Agartha. According to legend, Agartha is a vast kingdom concealed deep within the earth. And what's described here is not the hot liquid core scientists talk about. In most accounts, Agartha is portrayed as a highly advanced, peaceful civilization, with its crystal cities, radiant energies, and people living in harmony with nature and spiritual forces. It is a society untouched by war, greed, and ego. In this place, knowledge is the true guide of life. In the Western world, the idea of Agartha emerged in the 19th century with the French writer Alexandre Saint-Yves d'Alvedre. Fascinated by secret knowledge and spiritual ideas, d'Alvedre believed the world possessed a deeper order. In his 1886 work, Mission of India in Europe, he introduced Agartha for the first time. According to him, this was a real place where wise men had taken refuge in ancient times. It coincided with what Hindu tradition calls the Dark Age of Kali Yuga. Agartha had not disappeared. It had only gone into hiding, waiting to return when the right time came. D'Alvedre spoke of a colossal city inhabited by millions. It was governed by both spiritual authority and an absolute leader. Society operated under a system called Synarchy. Religion, science, and politics worked together in harmony, the exact opposite of the chaotic structure of modern states. His most striking claim, however, was how he learned about it. According to him, a high-ranking spiritual teacher from the East, Haji Sharif, had taught him to reach Agartha through astral projection. D'Alvedre's account was so detailed and confident that some even believed he might have actually been there. However, this work was not written to be presented to the public. In fact, he destroyed most of the copies himself, perhaps fearing that he had revealed too much. Even so, some manuscripts survived, and in 1910, after his death, they were published by Gérard Encausse, known in occult circles as Papoose. From that moment on, the legend of Agartha began spreading rapidly in the West. Yet he was not the first to speak of hidden worlds beneath the earth. Before him, French colonial official Louis Jacoliot had mentioned a mysterious kingdom called Asgarda in ancient Indian manuscripts. The story of Agartha is not confined to a single book. It is part of a motif that echoes across centuries and continents in different cultures. Long before its name was known in the Western world, ancient civilizations had spoken of hidden realms beneath the earth. As hard as it may be to believe, these accounts, though seemingly independent, surprisingly support one another. For example, in Buddhist and Hindu cosmology, there is a sacred mountain, Mount Meru, also called Sumeru or Mahameru. This mountain is considered the center of the universe. Ancient texts describe it as a colossal pillar of reality. From the east, it shines like crystal. From the south, lapis lazuli. From the west, ruby. And from the north, it glows like gold. It is said to be so vast that the sun and moon revolve around it. But the world beneath Meru is just as fascinating as its summit. In ancient Indian texts, this place is called Pātāla, encompassing many subterranean realms. Unlike the Western concept of hell, Pātāla is not a place of dark punishment, but a world full of beauty, life, and mystery. Like Pātāla beneath Meru, other cultures also describe underground realms. These places are said to hold forests, palaces, and cities adorned with glittering jewels. Serpent-like beings, such as Nagas, Danavas, and Rakshasas dwell here. Some believe they possess advanced technology and spiritual powers. In certain accounts, they are praised for their wisdom, while in others they are seen as enemies of humanity. Buddhist teachings also speak of these subterranean realms. In Tibet and the Himalayas, Nagas are associated with secret water palaces and mysterious caves. Monks tell stories of tunnels and sacred underground cities beneath their monasteries. Yet it is said that only those with special training can reach them. In Tibet, there is also another legend of a hidden kingdom called Shambhala. It is often confused with Agartha or seen as connected to it. According to the Kailash Tantra teachings, Shambhala is a realm of peace, wisdom, and enlightenment. It cannot be reached by ordinary means. Only those spiritually prepared can go there. In esoteric traditions, Shambhala and Agartha are considered twin realms, one associated with divine order, the other with raw power. Some even describe them as the right hand and the left hand. Other views suggest Shambhala represents a higher spiritual dimension, while Agartha represents a more physical existence. Both are said to be hidden within the earth and are remembered as guardians of ancient wisdom. Now let's move beyond the Himalayas to the high plateaus of North America. In the legends of the Hopi people in Arizona, it is told that the surface world was destroyed twice, first by fire, then by ice. During these cataclysms, celestial beings helped the Hopi, taking them to underground chambers of the Anusinum, known as the Ant People. There they learned to store food, farm in darkness, and live in harmony with nature to survive. According to Hopi belief, the narrow wastes of ants today come from those times when they shared their food with the Hopi. There is also a surprising detail in linguistics. In the Hopi language, the word for ant is anu, and for friend is naki. Together they form Anunnaki, which bears a striking resemblance to the beings in Sumerian mythology. According to these accounts, such beings came either from the sky or from underground to guide humanity. I have previously made a video about the Hopi people and the Ant People myth. For more detailed information, I recommend watching that video. Returning to our topic, these similar stories arising from different geographies and cultures echo like a great enigma in humanity's collective memory. Could all these legends be traces of contact with ancient civilizations that did not vanish but instead retreated underground? If so, this would mean there are vast spaces beneath our feet for an advanced civilization to thrive. Perhaps this is why the deep wells whose construction remains unexplained, or the massive structures that even our space-age technology cannot solve, might start to make more sense. And at this point, the hollow Earth theory comes to mind. This idea challenges the belief that the Earth is a completely solid, non-hollow sphere. Its origins go back to the 1600s, when scientists were trying to understand mysterious phenomena like the Earth's magnetic field. In 1692, the famous English astronomer Edmund Halley, the namesake of Halley's Comet, proposed that the Earth might consist of concentric layers or shells. He suggested these layers rotated at different speeds, had air between them, and might even support life. According to him, even light could come from deep within the earth. In the early 1800s, the American John Cleves, Symmes Jr., took this idea even further. He claimed that the earth was hollow and that there were massive entrance gates at the North and South poles. According to Symmes, these enormous polar gates led directly into the inner world. He believed that humans could travel inside the earth and spent years trying to raise money for such an expedition. But he never managed to realize the discovery he dreamed of. At the beginning of the 21st century, Marshall Gardner pushed the theory even further. In his view, the earth was completely hollow and a small sun hung at its center. This inner sun provided light and heat for life underground. There, plants, animals, and even humans existed. Everything was different from life on the surface. According to the theories, gravity worked in a completely different way inside this world. As you move closer to the inner shell, the pull shifted, not drawing you straight down, but instead toward the inner walls. In this way, the concept of down lost its meaning, and movement became lighter and easier. Some even claimed that time itself flowed differently inside. According to those who said they had entered, 1 minute there was equal to an hour on the surface. Clocks would not work properly, and time bent, stretching and contracting. This distortion of time was said to be felt most strongly the closer one got to the inner sun. In Gardner's version, the earth was like a ring, a giant donut. Energy flowed in through one pole and out through the other in a constant cycle. This energy was said to keep the inner sun alive and support underground life. Moreover, strange phenomena observed near the poles, compasses spinning out of control, GPS devices failing, were explained by this energy. So where is the entrance? If there truly is a vast inner world beneath our feet, how would we reach it? According to legends, there is not just one doorway into Agartha, but several. The most often mentioned is Mount Kailash, rising deep within the Himalayas. Though not as tall as Everest, it is remarkable that no one has ever reached its summit. Local belief says the reason is not the difficulty of the climb, but rather an invisible force preventing humans from reaching it. The only one said to have overcome this barrier was the Buddhist monk Milarepa, and he did so not with his body, but through spiritual means. Some theorists suggest that Kailash is not a natural mountain at all, but an ancient pyramid. In esoteric teachings, it is regarded as one of the most important gateways to Agartha. Even Dalvedre, the first to introduce Agartha to the West, wrote that the entrance was hidden beneath the Himalayas and that its guardians were Tibetan monks. In later years, the Polish explorer Ferdynand Ossendowski also shared similar stories he heard from monks in Tibet. According to them, there were tunnels beneath the mountains, and these tunnels opened into a vast underground kingdom ruled by a mysterious being known as the King of the World. Now let's travel to the other side of the earth, to Northern California. Here too, a similar legend had taken root. Mount Shasta in Northern California gradually became the center of mystical lore. According to the stories told here, after their lost continent sank, the legendary Lemurians built an underground city called Telos beneath Shasta. For centuries, this mountain became a magnetic center for spiritual seekers and adventurers alike. People claim that at the foothills of Shasta, they still encountered invisible beings, saw lights, and heard humming sounds rising from deep below. The tales about Mount Shasta don't end there. There are stories of mysterious lights at the foothills, unexplained disappearances, and tall, robed figures seen in the forest. After the Harmonic Convergence event in 1987, the mountain was viewed as a global center of spiritual energies and interdimensional gateways. But who are these beings really? Are they remnants of Lemuria, or are they connected to Agartha? It's not certain, yet many believe that the tunnels beneath Mount Shasta lead directly to the inner world. Similar accounts are not limited to these regions. In Egypt, which holds deep ancient mysteries, there are also similar legends. Some claim that beneath the Great Pyramid of Giza and the Sphinx lies a secret passage that opens into Agartha. In recent years, discoveries have revealed previously unknown chambers and tunnels beneath the pyramid plateau. These definitive findings suggest that the pyramids were not merely tombs. Moreover, their perfect alignment with the Orion stars and their construction based on precise mathematical ratios point to an architecture that far exceeded the knowledge of the people of that era. This is where the legend of the Hall of Records comes into play. According to the myth, beneath the Sphinx lies a secret chamber where the lost knowledge from before the Great Flood was hidden. Perhaps the Sphinx is not merely a statue, but a marker stone protecting the gateway to the inner world and its secrets. Its form and its location take on an entirely new meaning through this perspective. Another possible gateway is Mount Rushmore. Most of us know it only as the massive monument that bears the faces of 4 American presidents. But there are rumors of a hidden door behind those faces. And if there really is a door, it must lead somewhere. Some researchers claim it leads to the Hall of Records, while others suggest it opens directly into Agartha. It is known that the chamber at Rushmore was originally designed to store important documents, but it was never completed. Today it remains sealed and no one is allowed inside. But isn't the fact that a place is sealed and forbidden often a sign that something is being hidden? Moreover, its location is striking. Rushmore lies in the Black Hills of South Dakota, a region considered sacred by the local tribes for centuries. According to them, this land holds powerful energy. That is why many believe the door may lead to far more than a room full of documents, perhaps directly to Agartha itself. But the region most often linked to Agartha lies much farther south in Antarctica. According to legend, beneath the thick ice lies one of the oldest and most well-guarded gateways to the inner world. In the late 1930s, Nazi Germany officially launched a scientific expedition there. But rumors soon spread. The Nazis hadn't just conducted research, they had also built bases. Known as Base 211 or New Schwabenland, this area was, according to many, not merely a refuge, but a secret base where tunnels led directly to the inner world. Perhaps the goal was not to hide from the world, but to make contact with the underground. After World War II, in 1946, the United States launched a massive mission called Operation High Jump. Its commander was Admiral Richard E. Byrd. It was one of the largest military expeditions ever undertaken in Antarctica. Ships, planes, thousands of soldiers, and advanced technology. Officially, the goal was research, but behind the scenes, far more mysterious rumors circulated. Operation High Jump. Even the name sparks curiosity. High Jump. Why such a name? Was something meant to be crossed over? Perhaps a massive hole? According to official records, the mission's purpose was to test equipment in extreme cold. Was that logical? Not really. What's more, the expedition ended far earlier than planned, and that only deepened the mystery. What Admiral Richard E. Byrd described in his diary was unbelievable. He wrote that he had flown beyond the South Pole into a warm, lush region. There he encountered strange animals and an advanced civilization. These beings warned him about the state of the surface world and spoke of the catastrophes humanity would face in the near future. Byrd called this place the land beyond the pole. If this diary is real, Byrd may not only have discovered a new continent, but also stepped onto the very threshold of Agartha. Even today, Antarctica remains a strictly restricted zone. International treaties forbid civilian access. The official reason is environmental protection. Yes, but many believe the real purpose is to conceal something far greater. After all, Antarctica is surrounded by unexplained magnetic anomalies, but it isn't only the poles. The Amazon rainforest is also believed to hold one of the gateways to Agartha. Local tribes speak of portals hidden deep in the jungle, guarded by nature and time. Glowing caves, lost cities swallowed by vines, guardians who keep intruders away. Many people have vanished in the Amazon, and those who returned told of strange sounds in the darkness and mysterious lights they had seen. Compasses fail there, GPS devices don't work. The forest itself feels like a living labyrinth. Perhaps deep within that green hell lie the gates of an ancient civilization. Similar stories are scattered all over the world. Mount Epomeo in Italy, the lost mines of King Solomon, mysterious caves. But knowing the location of the gate is not enough, because entering Agartha cannot be achieved by walking or digging. Agartha is protected not only by distance and geography, but by frequency. Think of it like a radio station. It's always broadcasting, but unless you're tuned to the right frequency, you'll never hear it. The gateways appear only to those whose energy is aligned. In other words, someone who is not spiritually, emotionally, or physically ready could stand right in front of the door and never see it. That's why in Antarctica there are guardians. In Tibet there are monastery sentinels. In Egypt the Sphinx. In South America the shamans, each remembered as protectors of the gates. Silent watchers, secret societies, cults, and even governments. Some claim that world powers know the location of Agartha, but hide it from the public. But why is it hidden? Perhaps the answer is simpler than we think. According to legend, we are simply not ready. Yes, we have technology, but we lack patience, focus, and humility. Spiritually, we are not prepared. The myth of Agartha emphasizes one thing above all. Agartha exists not for power, but for balance and harmony. Those who carry greed, arrogance, and destruction cannot pass through these gates. History has shown us again and again that whenever humanity finds something powerful, it seeks to control it and use it for its own gain. That is why Agartha remains concealed. Maybe the caves, strange structures, and frequency anomalies around us, those things we can't quite explain, are hints of this truth. Perhaps the time to sense Agartha has already come. But if these gates really do exist and are still waiting somewhere to be opened, the question is, are we ready to see them? Perhaps Agartha can only be reached by those who truly seek the truth. And maybe its secret isn't out there at all, but hidden within us. So what do you think? If this video has sparked new questions for you, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. And if you'd like to continue exploring mysteries like this together, please remember to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Until the next discovery,